pretty good channel too. It's pretty good. So I think while we're waiting, the Cool Guys channel. Let me play the long version of the video of the hype vid. Just get you even more hyped up, which I think is pretty legit since we're starting a new series. So here we go. Here we go. Yeah, awesome. By the way, shout out to Supernova Maniac, aka Alter, for making that video for us. How awesome, how cool. And of course, if any of you are talented graphics peoples, do send me or Game a message, because we could always use more cool graphic things on the cast. Now, Diggity is still not online, so I will continue to talk about things. I suppose I will give another shout out to the sponsors. Uh-oh, I closed the window with the sponsor. Oh wait, no I didn't. Sponsor list. Sponsors. I could probably do it off the top of my head now, but just in case, I'm going to do it from the list. So the main sponsor, SYZ Adrenaline, representing his team AOV. Also his other team members, Elegant and Mega Shira. Elegant, I think, is actually from Great Britain. Actually, I think a lot of the AOV team members are from Great Britain, so props to you guys. Anyway, we also have Ackless.net, a domain hosting website personally recommended by LRM Game. KOS Templar from thebgh.com. Apparently BGH scene is still going quite strong. BGH for the win. Everyone should go check out Day 9's 2v2v2v2 on BGH. We also have 10Bagger, who is part owner of btcsportsbet.com, where you can bet on the ISL finals using fancy things called bitcoins. You guys should go Google those. Those are pretty cool. I read like the whole Wikipedia article on it. It was like super technical and stuff. But anyway, last but not least, A1K1, A4K1, known to me as Numbers Guy, who is representing his team OD. Many thanks to all of them. And we are still waiting. Oh, I have a call from Diggity. Hey, what's up?
And I'm back, and I think I might be at the same time slot you are if I've kept in, and if we're at 7:50 now.
Oh, are you actually in the game? Because I left the game because Game told me to leave. He told me to remake it, so I actually left.
Oh.
Wait, right. How is that even possible? How could you still be in the game after dropping?
Because it's a replay.
Yeah, but...
And so the replay keeps going.
Oh. Wow.
So
whatever, I restarted after 3 minutes, so it's not a big deal.
That's fine.
So, I'm gonna go say/1, game 1.
Try this again. Doing the game spamming.
I changed the name. It's say/1 instead of say1/1.
Oh. There we go.
Alright, and we're all downloaded already. Perfect. So, without further ado, Game 1, the remix. And once again, in the top right corner as the purple Terran, we do have Scan, the infamous ex-pro gamer Scan, playing against the green Terran, who is the Russian beast Heme. Now, in the interest of full disclosure for the VOD viewers, we did already start this cast previously. We got up to about 3 minutes, and then we had connection issues, so we have just restarted this. But don't worry, nothing. Nothing. You missed nothing that was extremely important. I don't know why that was so difficult for me to say, but there it is.
In the meantime, hopefully I will not disconnect again. I've had so many disconnects. Curse you, Comcast, is the internet provider I have down here. I wish I had Sonic so bad. If anyone has their own little private provider and just wants to show off the fact that they don't disconnect every single day, let me know. Anyway, to recap the first 3 minutes, which have already been seen on stream and that we've already seen, I've actually seen up to around the 7-minute mark, so I'll have a few spoilers. But it was funny because in my head, everything that was going to happen did happen. So I feel at least good in that regard. Not that I can prove it. You'll see a little bit later gas and barracks here into the north from Scan, and in the bottom right you'll see just a barracks, kind of an odd position, but I think it makes sense towards north, towards that wall, so you can provide additional spotting just in case drops are incoming. It was, I think, the logic, the position behind that barracks thus far in the game.
Indeed. I mean, it's closer towards the middle, so he can just lift it and float it out, and it'll be a little bit quicker of a scouting barracks.
Yep.
And also, I think it's worth repeating for the VOD viewers that Scan is, in fact, a pretty heavy favorite in this matchup. Heme has actually only played TVZ up to this point in the ISL, which is his best matchup. He actually knocked out Cole in the last round in the round of 8. I believe it was a 3-1 series. A little bit surprising for some people, of course, Cole being a fan favorite. But let's see what Heme can do against Scan's TVT.
Yeah, in the meantime, looks like we have a scouting SCV. Caught me in the middle of a drink of water there. We have a scouting SCV moving to that bottom right. There is an initial marine being produced, and still no barracks up in the upper right-hand corner. We'll see if that affects the build lower down the line, but the SCVs coming across each other. And really, I think the vital thing here, there's a factory already out currently for Heme. Really, the vital thing is who decides to get aggressive, and I think this is one of those maps where you'll almost always see opening aggression, factory somewhat later, but again, still a very forgiving matchup, which is, I think, exactly what I was saying, so it almost feels like a reset. In perfect sync here. It's a much more forgiving matchup than ZVZ, so you can end up having a little bit later factory and not having a huge incident. As a result, really what it comes down to is micro and positioning more in these TVT matchups. Currently, it looks like that SCV got plenty of information, saw all it was going to look, and in the meantime, Heme's SCV in the upper left-hand corner finding absolutely nothing and probably feeling a little bit silly. Should loop around, but I assume he's going to run into a brick wall that is that Marine.
Indeed, but it's interesting to note that Scan only made a single Marine and then lifted off his barracks, whereas Heme is going for a third Marine now. So even though he has a faster factory, Scan is actually throwing down 2 factories, so his second factory will be faster. Heme actually going straight for Machine Shop. Scan, let's see if he goes for Machine Shop or a Vulture first. It looks like it will be the Vulture first from Scan.
Go ahead, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say he might be able to put on a little pressure before the tank gets out.
Yeah, really the key to Scan's build is to go forward, get those vultures inside the natural expansion, maybe even try to press them to the main, but usually a siege tank will be on time to engage and plug that gap. I think that usually when you see early Marines on Tau Cross, it's to provide a fast expansion sort of style, but basically what he wants to do is have vultures in position, lay the mines, try to delay that natural expansion, and then get an expansion up before. And once you have those landmines just sitting there waiting to blow up on anything that moves across, it can really delay that command center, particularly if you have vultures running back and forth looking to dive and suicide and kill whatever they can, or maybe even contest and run in and do some damage to the main. Looks like the barracks can start floating across from each other. But yeah, once you see it, it's really the key is going to be micromanagement, and it's going to be really vital that as well you see Heme moving forward and contesting those vultures, not giving them, it looks like a SV dying there, not letting them press forward, plant those mines, but at the same time not giving up position towards the main. And I love this positioning by Heme, actually using that command center almost as a pseudo corral for those vultures once they come in.
Indeed, and earlier on, actually, you might have missed it, but there was something really weird that happened at Scan's natural. He landed the barracks kind of like as a wall, so I thought it would block the SCV, and then he actually lifted the barracks right as the SCV went in, so the SCV actually got in for a full scout. Another interesting thing was that Scan threw down a third factory, but as soon as the SCV saw what was going down in Heme's, or kind of at Heme's choke, he immediately canceled that third factory. So I'm not sure what his follow-up plan is. I mean, he looks like he's still going for the vultures with mines, but not going as heavily, seeing the tanks coming out for Heme.
It is possible we could see a second tech factory and maybe some siege tanks to provide some more counters. There's the siege tanks engaging. Again, they need to position very, very carefully. I don't think spider mines are quite upgraded yet. They should be here in just a moment. One siege tank actually alone out in front.
Oh, and the mines are finished.
Assassinated. There's the mines on top of that siege tank. One siege tank actually going to pull out and get separated and probably assassinated by those vultures. And it looks like the mines did in fact get in position to block that command center, which is going to allow Scan to get that command center up much sooner in the background. But keep in mind, there is a second factory along that corner, as well as a starport, or sorry, never mind, an armory.
And I think Heme made a bit of a micro mistake there. I don't think he killed a single vulture with that tank. Look, if you look at all the vultures, they're all a little bit damaged. It looks like all the tank shots were spread among the vultures. Meanwhile, Scan going for 2 tanks right now and researching siege mode, which is about halfway done. So he's actually going to get some a contain going on here with the mines and siege tanks behind. But it looks like vultures running into the main, just going to run straight past that siege tank, killing all 3 marines. Only 1 vulture goes down. The rest are heavily injured. There's another vulture popping out for Scan. It looks like though he will be able to target down a few of these SCVs that are on gas, but a tank popping out just in time, so I think only 1 SCV was killed. But here comes the tank and marine of Scan to start off this contain.
Very interesting. We do have a starport building a dropship. Anyway, so building inside Heme's base. So while he has this contain outside his natural expansion, he's just going to skip everything and try to contest that natural expansion that's going up for Scan in the meantime. Siege tank moving forward with the marine. He needs to be a little bit careful because keep in mind, if positioned well, you can suicide. And actually, I wouldn't be surprised to see a sacrifice marine or maybe even sacrifice Goliath to just go through, clear that mine, let that expansion drop, and try to stage position forward. But right now, it looks like Scan does have nice position with those siege tanks to continue to deny that natural expansion. But dropship loading up 2 Goliaths and a tank.
Wow, I can't believe he's actually trying to break this instead of going for a counterattack. I mean, the tanks are all on siege. Yeah, he won't be able to do anything, and he's also revealed his starport tech. Now he's going for the attack. And also, I want to note that Heme followed that up with a Wraith, but Scan, already on top of things, went for the Armory and Academy. Knows that there might be some kind of Cloak Wraith follow-up by Heme, given that he's contained, but Scan will have none of it. But there is going to be a drop here. Siege mode, I do believe, is finished. No, it isn't. It's actually only about halfway done for Heme, so he won't be able to siege the cliff here on top of the natural, but he will instead go straight into the main. Now, Scan, does he have any units? He doesn't. What about the factory? Or the factories that only have Goliaths about halfway done, so this drop will be able to do a little bit of damage here.
Oof. Catching several SCVs, halting that gas, which is absolutely huge. It looks like the Goliath and that tank going to try to do what they can. SCVs flooding to that natural expansion, and yeah, those siege tanks just slow, out of position, not able to contest with the mobility of that dropship. And it looks like he's going to lose the supply depot as well. I don't think that's going to put him into the red, but at the very least, losing. He's got to
be careful though. He's taking hits from the Goliaths on the dropships. The dropship survives with 50 HP, and it looks like he is getting his natural.
Yeah, lost contained, so he's going to be a little bit behind economically. Really well played, I got to say. Nice follow-up there by Heme to get right back in this match. I think that Vulture is going to provide a lot of spotting as well, and he still has that dropship, keep in mind, to just keep Scan back.
Indeed, and it looks like both players are going to lose their barracks. Heme looks like somebody scanned. I think that was Heme scanning like right above his main there with a siege tank there. I guess expecting some units to be there. I'm not sure why Scan would necessarily have a lot of units there. That was a little bit peculiar, I think. But looks like both players now going to go defensive mode. Whoa! Heme A-moving through a minefield. I think he took 1 mine hit right there. Or did he even take 1 mine hit? But it was a little bit dangerous.
The advantage of having 4 Goliaths like that is usually you can just press straight through it, and as long as you don't have a distractionary unit diving in, you can take it out fairly easily, fairly quickly. Looks like a Vulture just kind of